So I see Samantha has their presentation up, and I'm gonna brief introduction. Samantha serves as the interim director of community initiatives, bringing a people-centered approach grounded in experience across research, marketing, and sustainability. They hold a master's in international affairs from the University of California, San Diego, with a focus on environment, energy, and health, and have worked on issues ranging from environmental justice and native communities to local food systems. Their work is driven by a commitment to reducing barriers and advancing more equitable community and data-informed solutions. So with that, I'm going to pass it to you, Samantha.
Thank you, Justin, and Andy and Jake. Appreciate the dialogues and conversation and learning space today. And thank you everyone for being here today. For the working groups on energy resiliency, today I'm going to be introducing you to the GEM platform from GreenLink Analytics. Before that, my slide will change here. There we go. So GreenLink, we were founded in 2014. We're a 501c3 based in Atlanta, Georgia, that conducts energy and equity research, consulting, and focused at the state and local levels across the US. Our mission is to advance the clean energy transition as fast and fair as possible. So this is our amazing team. And as Justin said, I'm Samantha. I've been with the organization about 4 years, and I hold previous experience working at the county, state, as well as small neighborhood, business, and nonprofit levels. And the work that I've done previously heavily adds to what I do today, building bridges between local governments and neighborhoods to improve resiliency for all. So today I'm going to do very brief introduction to GLA and some intro and use cases for GEM. And then if we have time, I'll go into the GEM platform demo, some next steps, and a Q&A. And gratitude for all of your time and energy and being with us today. So GreenLink Analytics, we work nationwide, as I said, and we work with energy and equity data analysis and consulting. These are a lot of the different cities that we have worked with. In our scientific research and analysis focus on filling data gaps and bringing high resolution climate and energy data to governments, commissions, utilities, and communities nationwide. Here you'll see we have the intersection of data, policy, and community. GreenLink is in the middle, and that's also where the GEM tool lies. And these are, being a data organization, we track our own impacts. And so these are some of the results over the years that we've been an organization working. Now, I'm sharing this tool today because socioeconomic burdens disproportionately impact neighborhoods. This limits access to affordable housing, clean energy, and healthcare while making it difficult for leaders to measure needs, track progress, and build resiliency. So the GreenLink Equity Map, GEM, is an interactive web-based tool that brings together data on health, housing, and environmental inequities, with energy burden as a key indicator to help guide decision-making and resource allocations. So by highlighting disparities across neighborhoods, GEM supports more targeted, people-centered solutions and is already being used nationwide to direct over $1 billion in investments through 2025 toward emission reduction, grid improvements, and support for disinvested neighborhoods. Now, if you attended our energy affordability financing and incentives overcoming cost barriers working group, Matt shared on this more, so there will be a recording of that available soon, soon to be published for you to see more details, but I'm sharing this again to connect that affordability with energy resiliency. Issues like bill relief, health, housing, and stability and displacement are part of the same story. I think Jake spoke to that earlier, and organizations often lack local data to target investments effectively. We've all kind of talked a little bit about this and how we need to collaborate on that. So existing programs help with short-term relief, but don't fix deeper structural issues. And regulatory or cost test constraints can hinder durable neighborhood level solutions. So the GreenLink Equity Map is valuable because it highlights where burdens are concentrated and where targeted investment can better align local governments and neighborhoods to strengthen resiliency plans. Now, this tool can be used in a variety of ways. There are use cases that help deliver resources to neighborhoods and provide insights to local government. And examples of this was using GEM to identify and confirm neighborhoods with high energy burden under the Weatherize Atlanta project. a great collaboration that not only worked to deliver energy efficiency and healthy home upgrades to owner-occupied single-family homes in high-energy burden neighborhoods, it also brought forward and created spaces for a qualitative renter case study in high-energy burden neighborhoods to consider how the weatherized program can potentially grow into supporting more folks experiencing energy burden. So building something truly resilient means understanding all neighborhoods and configuring how we can pivot to support them, not just as members of local governments, but people in these neighborhoods. GEM can be used to understand what's going right, what's going wrong, by visualizing where neighborhoods are needing more care and attention under these programs. So the tool can also be used in creating neighborhood impact reports and understanding impacts of energy burden, which you can check out some of our publication on our website. And I also recommend checking out in tandem our YouTube page that has webinars we've done previously that show like the city of Richmond, Virginia. We worked with them on their sustainable development planning and more insight to data indicators, literacy, as well as importance of data visualization can be found there. One thing I like to point out too is that the tool can be used to create infographics. So if you are running public engagement, neighborhood outreach, listening sessions, you can use images from the map. This is an example of it, which I'll show in a second, to help develop what you're bringing into communities if you can't bring your laptop to interact with the platform itself. Now, I'm going to jump into indicators and the GEM tool itself. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat. I can talk this morning. Or if you want to come off, I don't think we have time to come off mute, but the questions I can follow up with later. I hold office hours and demo times that folks can also attend, and I'll make sure that those links get shared with everyone. Let me make sure you can all still see my screen. I think it stopped sharing. Okay. So this was, if you wanted to look at some of our publications, this is where you'd find them on our website. If you go to news and media, it's under there, and you'll see we have clean and renewable municipal energy plans. We've worked on informational graphics as well as neighborhood impact reports. Our YouTube page has, here's the case study of Richmond's climate equity action plan. We worked with them in their clean energy, understanding mapping and transportation burden, clean energy workshops on how the community collaboration happens. But what I want to share before going into the tool is our indicators list. And so we conduct listening tours to get insight from city, state, community-based, and nonprofit organizations to develop the different indicators that we put into GEM. And this is the website where you could schedule a demo or office hours that Gretchen just shared in the link. I will skip this for now, but I just want to highlight that we have this process guide for city community collaboration. It's free for everyone, so if you want to take a look at this before the tool, please go through it and check out page 8 because it's a way to gauge where you're at now and how you can improve your collaboration with your neighborhoods to understand the needs in building your energy resiliency plans. Now, in the tool itself, looks like I had a previous thing pulled up, but we'll stay in Atlanta, Georgia. And I'll just refresh this really quick. But when you upload the tool, it's going to take you to your base page. My Wi-Fi is a little slow this morning, so apologize. But when it pulls up, it's going to show you the map that we just had of Atlanta. I might have to zoom in a little bit here. But you're able to see right off the bat that it highlights, this is where I have my home base when I log in because we do a lot of work in Atlanta. And so you already have an outline when you first log in. When you're scrolling over, you're noticing it's telling you census tract, county, number of households, and median income. So you're already getting information and insight. And over here, you can turn off city boundaries. You can turn off the roads. You can turn off points of interest like Georgia Tech. I like to leave that all on when I'm in the tool because it really helps support with visualizing where you're at, understanding what you're working with. If you're not from a neighborhood in your city, it gives you insight to other things going on if there's highways going through, et cetera. And some of us work across jurisdictions that has been mentioned. So it's a good way to kind of see where those lines are. Now over here on the left is where we have all of our indicators. And we have several energy burden specific indicators. So we have energy burden, those experiencing energy burden above 3%, 6%, and extremely severe energy burden that was above 10%. And so if we click on one of the indicators, you notice under energy burden, you have electricity, gas, and water. you can turn those off or leave all three on to get the visualization, and you notice that the map changes. And so now it's telling you on the right, you have a legend showing lowest to highest percentages of where folks are experiencing energy burden. So these really dark orange areas are where you're going to see some of those highest percentages. For example, right here, census tract 7808 is experiencing 21.76% energy burden, which is extraordinarily high. That's over 5 times the national average, which is close, rounding up to 4% right now. And then one thing that's really cool and unique about the GEM tool is you're able to click on another indicator, and now you'll see where the neighborhoods are experiencing the highest, not just energy burden, but asthma rates in these dark yellow sections. And you'll see the percentages now when you scroll over them. This tool is really important because it helps really visualize what folks are experiencing to help when you're thinking about your engagement, your building of your resiliency plans, as well as reporting and driving where you're driving funding to support the neighborhoods that you work and live in. Other things about the tool is you can download the maps, as I said, for infographics. So if you download the map, it'll come with the legend. So you can put that into reports. You can put that into infographics with other facts that you're wanting to share with communities to talk. They create a lot of engagement and interaction and conversation. You can also download all of the data. So if you have folks on your team very strong in data analytics or organization, when you download this currently, you have number of households, median income. It'll tell you all the census tracts in Fulton County. And then it'll also, the disadvantaged communities came out with the Justice 40 tool that no longer is applicable, but the idea was to help support in driving for grant applications and funding from that in conjunction with the CJUST tool. So you're able to download all of that data. It comes in an Excel file that you're able to use within your work streams if you have other data. Another thing on our, the tool works in collaboration with some of the consulting we've done, and we've worked on projects where we actually work with cities to input data into the tool so they can visualize outage minutes to understand the energy usage and needs even better. And so those are some of the things that we've worked on previously. If you have any more questions about that, I know I'll skip the next steps, but please reach out to us and I can do a more insightful and go deep dive demo and talk about the use cases for you particular. I tried to keep it quick because I know we're very short on time and I like to be really respectful of folks' time. So with that, I'll hand it back to Gretchen and the BRESE team and just want to say big gratitude for all of you being here today and Jake and Andy for collaborating and presenting.
Thank you so much, Samantha. I know that was a little bit of a whirlwind, but I just want to emphasize how great this tool is for, communicating need, for emphasizing where and identifying where to direct, programs and funding. And it really is vast in terms of what it can do for communities. I wanted to, Samantha, I put in the chat that y'all GreenLink have a few spots left in June for folks that want to learn more and actually use the tool. Can you talk a little bit more about, or a little bit about the process for what it looks like when folks get started, just logistically? And I know folks, we're at time. We'll stay on for a few minutes here to address any questions. So if you have any, please put them in the chat. But I want to kind of frame that out for folks.
Yeah, that's great to hear. That was one of the things I was going to check with you all. So if we have some memberships under BRESE, what they would need to do is I just put my email in the chat. Please reach out to me and I can walk you through, answer any other questions you have and work together. I would need your organization or city email address, as well as just insight to where you're working and whatnot to get you set up in there. But I would recommend emailing me and then we can set up an office hour and have a discussion about it. And then I can get you into the tool. Typically, once I have a discussion and all the information I need, it's my capacity. So I always say within 48 hours, I can get you into the tool. So that's how I work. So
great. And what is the level of customization that is, if there's a data point folks don't see in there, what does that look like? that they're curious about?
Yeah, that is really hard to cover in like 30 seconds to a minute. But the basis is if you have data that you want to put into GEM, you would meet with, so our CEO, Matt Cox, is very, very involved in the process when we're taking on projects and incorporating data. So first you would probably meet with him and have a discussion about what this looks like. And then I work with our design and data team to facilitate how we can visualize, and we talk through with you, the person providing the data, to talk about what are your needs with the data, what are you really wanting to visualize in collaboration with the other indicators we have to really understand for the work that you're doing and support it. And so we have a deep conversation about that first, and then we tell you what the parameters are. I have a document that lists out, this is how we need the data organized or cleaned for us to put it in, and we can help you with that. But we work alongside you to make sure the data is clean, the data is ready. We understand how best to visualize the information, whether it's pins or another layer, like how I just showed you with the color gradients. And we work with you to then take the clean data, put it into GEM. Then we have like a beta testing section where like you go through and you look at the data with us. We make sure it's visualizing properly. And then you have access to that. And then with data sovereignty and security, we make sure that that stays within the neighborhoods or the community or the city that is providing that data. And we have a conversation about what that looks like as well.
That's great. Thank you. And I know I'm going to pass it back to Justin to wrap us up here in a second, but we will post more information about GEM, and there may be even a case study, Samantha, y'all have in your back pocket, because it might be interesting for folks to see, kind of a real-time example of how the tool was used to help with conversations, collaboration, funding, that kind of thing. So that's a resource we'll look forward to post on our BRESE website, along with this recording, slide decks, so y'all will have access to all this great information that was shared today. Thank you so much, Samantha. I really appreciate it. And apologies for the squeeze there at the end, but I think it was really helpful for folks to see this tool. And I hope people reach out to use it. I'm going to pass it back to Justin now to wrap us up.
All right. Thank you, Gretchen. Thank you, Samantha. So first